Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to save Ubisoft. Ubisoft right now needs an absolute home run. And I don't think they care about Metacritic. I don't think they care about what reviews say and what scores are. Like, a company like Sony likes to focus in on scores of games and stuff like that. I don't think Ubisoft cares about any of that. I think Ubisoft wants to sell games, and they want to sell a lot of games, and they want to make a lot of money because it's been very rough for them recently. And a lot of people are looking at this game as kind of a do or die situation for Ubisoft. And, I haven't beaten the game yet. I'm not as far as some people are. I've played about 7-8 hours of it or so. I know some people say, oh, you gotta play 10 to 15. And okay, whatever, dude. I have a general gist. I have an idea of the game. I've done quite a bit of things in it. I've done more than people that are saying that they've played 20 plus hours have already done. So I'm not really sure about that. But Ubisoft, this game isn't going to save you. I want to talk about my impressions. I haven't filmed any sort of footage for this. I'll be using trailers, and I'm going to steal Spawn Wave's video from yesterday to have some gameplay on here. So I guess I'll link his video in the description box down below. You can go watch it. I really don't care if you do. But Assassin's Creed is a franchise that I enjoy. Definitely more so I enjoyed the first few than the newer ones. I feel like the newer ones definitely got too big and too bloated. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, obviously, a lot of drama surrounding it, a lot of, questions being asked, some people taking the questions too far, some people taking the questions to a respectable place, but then being treated as if they're taking it too far. But I just want to talk about the game and my experiences thus far. Now, obviously, the whole thing surrounding this game is the two-character system. It finally takes place in Japan, and you have essentially a ninja and a big wrecking ball of characters. You have Yasuke, who is your big wrecking ball character, and you have Noe, who is your ninja. Think kind of a Tenchu sort of thing. Lots of stealth, lots of hiding in the shadows, getting rid of light. Got to be nimble on your feet, and you don't really want to get into a big brawl with a group of people. You want to pick them off one by one, whereas Yasuke is just like a maniac, and you could just hack and slash and destroy people with relative ease. Now, I do like the two different types of styles that they have because they feel very different. Yasuke isn't going to be doing any sort of parkour, whereas Noe will be doing parkour and things of that nature. The traversal feels very different. The combat feels very different. And I think they did a good job in terms of that. What I don't think they did a good job is actually making it make sense for there to be two characters, because really, like, most of the game, at least thus far, you're not really playing as Yasuke. Like, he's kind of an afterthought. And I've seen a lot of people say that they feel like the Yasuke stuff is almost like tacked on a bit. And, I could definitely foresee that kind of being a thing. It's not quite as memorable as Naue. Like, Naue is clearly the main character. Yasuke is clearly the side character. But the promotion of this game would make you think completely different. It would make you think that they are, at least equal in terms of how much you experience with them. And yes, you could switch to Yasuke and do things with him, but it's clear that this is Naue's story. And Yasuke also has a story happening alongside of it that does coincide with the main story, but it just doesn't feel like super organic. And I think they could have done a much better job of making it feel a lot more organic. Now, as far as the game itself is concerned, I mean, it's definitely an Assassin's Creed game. There definitely is some bloating. You're looking for vantage points. You're doing different missions. I do like the mission structure. It is a bit more open-ended. You could kind of like pick and choose what you want to do, which I think is nice. It's not necessarily like a completely linear path as far as the progression is concerned, which I believe was something they more so implemented in Valhalla. I never played Valhalla. I know, shame on me. But like I said, I'm more of a streamlined Assassin's Creed guy, or Black Flag, because Black Flag is just awesome. But I think the mission structure is fine. Like it gets the job done, and you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do and when you want to do it. Graphically speaking, I think the game is pretty gorgeous, honestly. Like there's a lot of breathtaking landscapes. There's a lot of really cool and brutal like finishing moves and stuff. Like it is a very brutal game in terms of like hacking and slashing people and like dismemberment. And, I think they really did a good job with the graphics, making it feel, kind of like Japan would look during that sort of time frame. Yes, there are little glitches here and there. Yes, there's a few wonky moments, especially sometimes, platforming, you'll get weird glitches and stuff like that. But I mean, it's an Ubisoft game. What do you expect out of them? And I think it's a pretty good game, but there's definitely some aspects of it that I am not a huge fan of. I don't really care for this story whatsoever. Like it's fine, but there's a lot of stuff that's like needlessly implemented. The first few hours of the game, like the first 3 hours, are just like an endless tutorial where you're doing stuff that you've already learned previously, and it's like, I've already done this. I already know how to do this. Why are you teaching me this exact same thing again? I was definitely very confused by that. I don't like the whole memory system. I know that Assassin's Creed was kind of built on that, back in the day, but it just convolutes things. You're kind of always going into like different periods of time, like 2 years in the future, 2 years in the past, 6 months ago. And it's like, okay, like can I just kind of stay like where I am? Like I've kind of getting to understand like the characters and what my motivations are and all that sort of stuff with it. Like it feels just very all over the place. There is a base building mechanic which I absolutely cannot stand. I don't like base building in games. Like it's kind of neat, I guess, but at the same time, it's kind of just, more busy work as far as, constructing your base and customizing your base. And when you're in the base area, even in performance mode, which I am playing on the Xbox Series X, it's very choppy. Like the frame rate feels halved, and it's very noticeable because the rest of the game does not feel like that. I do hope that they include a patch into that. And voice acting. Oh my God. So I'm using the English voice acting, and it ranges from acceptable to what the hell is going on. And that even extends to Naue, which is kind of surprising to me. Like sometimes she sounds really good, and then sometimes she doesn't. And it's almost like everyone that you come across has like a different sort of Japanese dialect, even if they're in like the same sort of town, which absolutely makes no sense. Like, some of them speak almost like South Park characters when doing a Japanese accent, and then some of them don't. And it's like, well, wait a second. If you all live in the same village and you're always, interacting with each other, shouldn't there be some sort of consistency with that? Shouldn't there be some sort of, relative, just everyone kind of sounds the same? Like if, I get it, people travel and stuff like that, but it can be very jarring. Some of the voice actors and actresses definitely phoned it in a little bit, and some of them definitely sound like leagues better than others. Like it's a very big gamble when you're talking to someone in this game as to whether or not they're going to sound decently portrayed or not. But like I said, I have not finished Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I do like some elements of it. Like I'm going to continue to play it. I think the combat is really fun. Sneaking around is really fun. It's very well done, but I just feel like, at the end of the day, it still has problems, and it still does things that people don't like with an Assassin's Creed game. Like why are there still all these RPG-ish elements? Like I feel like that is a product of a bygone era for Assassin's Creed. Like stop with those sort of things, having to level up your character and do different things with your character. I get it. People like skill trees, but not every game like needs a skill tree. You can just do something a bit more organic than going into a menu system, choosing what you feel like upgrading and then upgrading it yourself. The game kind of does lack direction sometimes. I feel like sometimes the missions, like they tell you the mission and you just got to figure out like where you're supposed to go based on very little intel. Now, yes, you could send scouts to the area that are from your base and stuff like that, but once again, that feels like a little bit of busy work. Like you were adding in an additional step that doesn't necessarily need to be done. Now, allegedly, this is a 40+ hour game, and I really think they could have tightened it up some. You know, I'm already starting to feel some sort of padding in some of the stuff. And I feel like if they would have halved it, you know, made it like a 20, 25 hour game, made it a bit more cohesive, made it a little bit more tight, I feel like this would have been like a better game. Now, I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm not saying the game is horrible, because I have been enjoying it. What I am saying, though, is that this game is not going to save Ubisoft. Like, it'll sell decently, but it's not going to outsell Valhalla. Like, I just don't foresee it outselling Valhalla. I don't foresee this saving the company. They probably want to sell 20, 25 million units, and I just don't foresee that happening, because it is a solid game, but I don't think this isn't going to be in anyone's game of the year. And if it is in somebody's game of the year, like, that just comes down to personal preference. But if, like, the media puts this in game of the year, then I guess we just did not have that great of a year. You know, if you like the game, that's great. If you hate the game, that's great too. You know, it exists. I don't hate my time with it thus far, but there's definitely problems. There's definitely things I don't like about this game, and there's nothing that's going to kind of change that because it's embedded into the gameplay, you know. But I mean, the ninja action's fun. I wish they would just make a new Tenchu game. Make a new Tenchu game with Naoe's abilities, and like we would be in serious business. Let me know in the comment section down below, though. Are you interested in this game? Are you picking up this game? Are you buying this game? Did John get paid off by Ubisoft to be nice to the game in his video? Is he taking a flight to Games Developer Conference 2025 right now in first class because of Ubisoft? No, he's not, but I mean, it'd be funny if to put that out into the universe to make people think that, because I am a good friend. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.